So I expect it to be fully things like the Xin banned away, the Gragas, the Sejuani, the Lee Sin, Kha'Zix. Mr. K6 is one that is actually quite
a
good.
Lira champion for sure too. But he may want to take into that jungle. He can also just play Lee Sin and go crazy if he wants. He likes to get himself under turrets very early in the game so Lee Sin can facilitate the in and the out. Rakan is banned away to kind of disable the duo for that bot lane. We'll see what they have for possible jungle here if they're giving a last pick.
I mean, Akaadian is also somebody who made his name on Kha'Zix, Graves, these aggressive junglers. And if he's able to play something that has a lot of carry potential, but the thing as well is they need some magic damage here, so the Gragas makes the most sense to actually pick up and get something like the Runic Echoes. But we'll see, because they have 2 physical damage dealers, and then they have the Kaisa, which will be something that will bring some magic damage, but not a whole bunch.
How did Sion make it through so far? It's like not a have to pick, but still a good pick. I'm surprised you haven't seen any of the bans.
They're probably not going to pick it at all. Because
not anymore,
They went for Akail, and then they went for the 2 power picks of the Aatrox and the Urgot.
That's true.
Oh my gosh, we have not seen a Tahm. It's been banned.
This is what I ban every game. No matter what. I wait to see if anybody bans him, and then I ban him.
As a Thresh player
as a Thresh player, I hate denial of kills in any form. He is the best at denying what you want to do.
And I saw him banned a few times yesterday because of the fact that he just stops people from getting those kills, like you've been saying, Riv. And it's been a hard engage kind of meta. If you're able to grab somebody and take them away from, a Galio ultimate or a Camille ultimate, it always feels like if you can hold them in your belly and keep them safe against hard engage, they'll live. And they'll live a lot longer, and people will have to overextend to get those kills later.
So we do get the Lee Sin from Lira. Keep the alliteration going here for him. And it is going to be mid lane. So we are going to see that Aatrox Urgot flex around.
No.
Okay, it's going to be Gragas jungle.
Yeah, I was like,
Gragas for Akaadian, something we still remember him from. Hey, man, second day of LCS. Anything can happen, right? 50 seconds on the clock as the teams now have their coaches to chat with, figure out how they want to run this early portion of the game. And Bjergsen is going to have some aggression going up against that Akail for Damonte in the mid lane, who we've only really seen him on those tanks or his old as year and things like that. Things that'll be kind of back in lane, not up in your face.
I feel like TSM will have the Aatrox in the mid and the Urgot top. I'm unsure if Clutch will swap or not.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they both can. Okay, nice. So Broken Blade is going to have the opportunity to not play something incredibly tanky and go back towards those damage-dealing champions. I didn't think they would do it. I thought that, I talked to him and he was like, yeah, playing Sion was great for me yesterday. Some nerfs coming through, but it was able to keep him level. It was a great first experience for him, and now he's coming out swinging today. They hand him the Aatrox and put Bjergsen on that Urgot. I love seeing this here.
We'll head on to the Rift. Clutch Gaming versus TSM. Coming into our 4th game of the day. Lira looking ready. He's happy. Damonte didn't get his Galio, but he's excited for this. Still seeing if Piglet can pop off as that AD carry. There's a lot of carry potential on that side of Clutch Gaming. We'll just see how quick they come out of the woodwork here to start the season off. TSM looking good to start things as well. A good win yesterday and a quick win for the squad. We'll see if they can put that to work here again today.
A TSM 2-0 start is exactly what the fans would want after last year. And up against Clutch, too. I mean, all the players that had actually beaten TSM in the spring split have departed from the team, but the organization is the same. And of course, that name is something. The players change, but the curse is something you always want to be able to topple.
Let's try to remember what kind of fuse everybody lit for themselves yesterday, right? Huni played pretty aggressive on that Rumble. Lira was flying all around the jungle. Like I said, Clutch was just aggressive. They were able to follow up with Damonte. We'll see if that still happens today. TSM played that safe early game, made sure lanes would go accordingly, and then once they got to the team fight phase, TSM was TSM again.
Yep. And if TSM carry momentum here, we already just started hearing the TSM chants.
Yeah.
It actually has been like a hot minute since I've actually heard them fill the studio.
Yeah.
Because last year, it was dire for them for most of the splits. And then at the end, it always was a little bit short. And there was always some worry. So there's a lot of, I would say, hype around them right now, especially since the criticism that fans had were, jungler's not aggressive enough, they're not proactive, and it looks like they're all over. And what the changes they made were they got a top laner that can play these things like the Aatrox and the Riven and all of that and pop off. they got an aggressive jungler with Akaadian, and then they brought in a proactive support, as well as changed out the coaching staff and brought in Zix, somebody who's known to be a great mastermind for the game and how it should be played. So player alignment as well as proactivity were the big weaknesses, and TSM staff looks like they got the right people to solve those problems, but time will ultimately tell us if that's true or not.
Exactly, that was my next comment, is I can't wait to actually hear how those synergies are actually forming, right? One of my favorites is a bot lane duo, how are Zven and Smoothie kind of coming together. We already saw that Zven popped off, but is that because he feels good with Smoothie, or did he have a good game? Finding those things out throughout the season become super awesome as the teams grow with new people. So a little back and forth for each lane as they test each other's abilities and get their kind of lips wet here as they get themselves engaged. Nice topside scuttle, grabbed up by Lira as he begins his jungle route.
Yeah,
towards the bot side.
That's just a buff to Crab, and is he going to the other Crab? Is his buff to Crab? Nope, buff to Crab to Raptors. And then potentially Red, get his level 3, and look for a gank. Broken Blade already underneath his tower, down in CS. There is a minion wave stacking against him, but of course, Viktor, not a good matchup for almost any melee champion.
You mean gravity field doesn't move with you? It doesn't help? As soon as he gets a few items, you might see Huni playing a little bit more safe on this, but he did not yesterday. He was in the jungle of his opponent, going around, taking down, I believe it was Rush, actually, on that Rumble.
Yeah, it was.
So we'll see if he tries to, again, get control of his lane and get out of there as fast as possible to make an impact on the map.
Something that people overlook with the Viktor top lane is just how damn tanky he gets. Because he actually gets things
Deceptive shield, too.
He gets the shield on a low cooldown. He gets the Iceborne Gauntlet a lot of the times. And up against a team that is primarily physical damage with 2 semi-magic damage dealers, especially the Kaisa, who will be a little bit better for them later. I'm a little worried about those early skirmishes, those mid-game fights where the Viktor has 2 items, because he will be able to actually dish out a lot of pain and take a lot of pain too. But right now it looks like he's maxing the E first for the wave clear. A lot of Viktor tops go for the Q for the trading.
Yep.
This just looks like he's going for an AP straight up Viktor blow you up build.
That death ray damage.
Yeah, so you
can start upgrading it and get a little aftershock on it too.
Yep. Maybe a little bit, oh yeah, it's actually called Aftershock. Yeah. I was like, Riv, oh my gosh, he's right. He's right. It is called Aftershock. See, that's the thing. Riv always knows what he's talking about.
This is a thing.
You just gotta get in his brain a little bit more. And I was like, oh yeah, you're right. But still, we'll see what Huni's able to do up against Broken Blade, who is now pushing the wave back towards him because Huni's been out of mana for a long time. He spent all those goodies on wave cleared.
Well, it feels good when you're in front of a turret and you almost have the guy low on health, because when it bounces back out, you think you have the lane, and that's not exactly how it works. But he's farming well, 29 to 21, and that is Broken Blade also picks up some for himself. Kathy and Rain doesn't actually hit too much there. Zven takes a bit damage back from the Essence Flux missing shot. Nice trading here. Vulcan having control of the brush, even with a ward, is still so annoying. You can stay outside the minion line, and you can always get a lick onto somebody. He without mana, they may think he has just enough for that gravity field, so they're not going to try it.
Yeah. Making sure with the flash up too, it becomes a little bit harder.
He can be tricky.
Akaadian, he has the Predator available, has the boots. Damonte.
Ooh. Little purge down there, and Damonte gets behind the minion so he doesn't take full damage. But Bjergsen, knowing when he has that advantage.
Also, I think he's about to be 6 too. Like literally 1 or 2 more creeps here, right? Oh wait, actually Damonte was ahead in experience. Interesting. So yeah, different experience bar from him. So it took 3 more. So yeah, backing up, making sure that he doesn't stick around to just get pulled into the grinder and lose. Actually, Damonte.
Oh, if only he got a few more minions.
Yeah, if he got a few more minions, he would have been 6 because he just hit it right now.
And good. It's the attack in. The Darkened Blade does not do enough damage, and that was a flash as well from Broken Blade. The teleports just came back to lane, so they were trading the damage they just got out of base, thinking both of them had to fight, and Huni was wrong.
Yeah, there's so much damage out of the Aatrox once you get that first lethality item. It's the Yomu's Ghostblade that people buy, and they've figured out that it's just so much extra damage with that. And there's no armor that early in the game, too. So Huni, he's got to make that big trek back to the top side of the map. Broken Blade is actually bashing Huni. He already solo killed Someday. He almost solo killed Huni, and that hasn't had any jungle interference in that lane at all. Huni went out of mana, and then he had to back TP'd in, and it's pretty much been a solo one-on-one.
Long walk back to lane after that. I wonder if he actually got him caught in an infernal chain and whatnot, because Huni seemed to always be on his side of the turret, so Broken Blade played that one quite well.
He's sticking around. He wants to get him with this.
Side rush, one dark
blade,
infernal chain comes out, throws down the World Ender. He can get the kill on Huni, but he gets stopped up. One more Darkened Blade to come in, but he uses the Umbral Dash.
Broken Blade comes in, says, Huni who? Someday who? Solo kills both of them. That is a mind-blowing week 1 debut for this top laner that came in. North American fans, you didn't know who he was before, they do now.
Yeah, Broken Blade is breaking the confidence of his opponents. You see this one more time. Infernal Chains hits a great gravity field as Huni knew what he needed to do with the last Umbral Dash that comes in here for Broken Blade. Just enough range with World Ender on. Beautifully done.
Yeah, that extra range for that auto was more than enough there.
Yeah, hashtag LCS big plays. You've been seeing them all week long. Be sure to get on Twitter and let us know what you think was a hashtag LCS big play. Yeah. We're going to be coming up all season long.
And bottom lane, I feel like TSM, they don't have to worry. They have Lantern, they have Kaisa, and what's a Tahm Kench going to do to lock that bottom lane down? Akaadian has just been on top side duty this whole time. Both junglers are trying to play to this top part of the map.
2 long swords on that buy for Broken Blade, so he can definitely dish out the damage. Akaadian in his back pocket here as they think they play the call on Lira being in the back pocket as well. Huni goes down before they can even blink. Lira wants to try for the counter kill. Dragon's Rage on, but it's going to be mixed up in the minions, and baby, that's a double kill for Akaadian.
And Akaadian comes in, he reads the play, says, we're playing to the top side. He makes the move first, and Lira was in transition. He was going around.
That was a full read.
We're talking about it. TSM, the jungler meme has always been, you know, they end up being just a war for Bjergsen. This game has had almost nothing to do with Bjergsen. It has been Broken Blade. But as I say that,
gets Damonte.
He needs a little bit more.
On that goal side, Fear Beyond Death not ready to take down Damonte, but still a top winning lane, a mid winning lane. Things aren't looking good for Clutch here to start off.
Bjergsen, you can E-flash if you wanted to, but underneath the turret, and the W's coming back up right now.
Bloodthirsty.
But the fact that he gets in solo, Damonte's gonna have to try to sustain with having that full energy and using the Q. He's actually going for more wave clear here to saying, get me out of lane.
Yeah, he doesn't want
to get me back.
Long. But that blue buff looks good to Bjergsen. He'll say, I'll take that if it happens.
The blue buff actually very beneficial to the Akail as well. Very beneficial. The only way that you can actually get energy regeneration, aside from levels there. But watch Lira. Lira starts to move to the right here as the play happens on the left. So he can't come in from the top side. He has the blast cone over, so he's a little bit later to the play. And they still even get the kill onto Honda Ultra Blade helping out there. But look at this, another one. Is this another one?
No way. Darkened Blade hits Darkened Blade. Third strike takes him down.
He is slam dunking Huni in the top lane.
This is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous right now. Broken Blade coming out so strong. Level 9 already, so that means he has a level 5 on his first skilled up ability. And he is feeling real good. Item completions coming in. We'll see it again. The ward pushed forward into Tribe Rush. Infernal Chains locks back Huni, and then the damage to come through. The 1, the 2, and the 3.
That was so good. The animation cancel on the Umbral Dash plus the Infernal Chain, so he doesn't have to root himself for that quarter second as he casts it. Goes over the wall and just makes it land. So well played there. Broken Blade is having an amazing week 1 here.
It's one of the things I think, you know, I'm kind of speaking for coaches and whatnot, that you have players that feel okay taking things into their own hand and using that, going ahead with the advantage, but knowing when to also pull back. And it looks like Broken Blade is all of that package right now. It's 2 games in, but he has been showing against some of the top laners we have in LCS.
Yeah, Someday, Huni, back-to-back on week 1.
Yeah.
People were coming in saying, how good is he? Week 1 will test him against these 2 top laners. And a lot of the times people end up saying, well, he didn't really get to play against the top laner. There was a lot of interference from jungle. You know, they played tanks, whatever. It's like, no. This has been pretty much that first kill was all solo. The pushback was all solo. The second one was Akaadian being in his back pocket and reading him. And that last one there was just taking the advantage and saying, you shouldn't have made that mistake 3 minutes, 4 minutes ago, because this is the result.
So all their extra moves, now they kind of have to use this and go somewhere. Does Akaadian still stay top? Do they go bottom? Or they just focus on pushing those objectives and then move the lanes?
Well, rule number 1 of jungling is do not gank a losing lane. And if you have a heavily winning lane,
continue to gank.
That is rule number 2. That is gank some more. And Broken Blaze, he's actually going to try to cut him off here.
No. So Huni still has his magic boots, which means Infernal can still pretty much grab him in, especially if it's being leveled up. He won't be able to make his way out of that with the walk speed, but they're going to go for Rift Herald, and that's the pullback, not necessarily being super bloodthirsty, but knowing this will pay off later in the game as they get the Rift Herald resource. 12 minutes in, 4-0, with those 4 kills being on the top half of the map between Akaadian and Broken Blade.
I actually love that from TSM, where they say, screw the Cloud Drake, we don't need it. Get the Rift Herald, because the Rift Herald will convert into gold immediately for them if they want to take a turret. And if they can place it on the top side, which he is doing right now, that's going to be that first turret in Huni's lane.
Oh boy.
And he backed too. This is just going to be them taking that turret.
And he's already been able to get how many plates off? So much gold here for Broken Blade on these. They knocked it down as well, some shared gold on the end there for that plate. And now it's going to be 2,000 solo lead here for Broken Blade over Huni.
Look at that. I was about to say, let's toggle the gold. That's a 1,200 gold lead in the jungle. That's a 2,200 gold lead in top lane, 12 minutes in. You know gold at 15 stats? Gold at 15 stats are probably going to be very skewed in favor of Broken Blade after this game, and it will maybe hold up for the entire season of 18 games, because that is a big number to have.
You get that one game, and it can't be
it just
by
pulls,
any of
it's
the
that
other
outlier,
stats. Yeah.
pulls it all the way to the right.
You know, I had a guy like that. We used to play a lot of CS back in the day, and he'd join for one game of a tournament, do really good, and leave for the night.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody could beat you.
It's like that. I'm 18.0 KDA because I played one game, and I'm going to forever.
That crap just hit me wrong. But it's all right. Back to the game.
Yep.
How do you really feel, Riv?
Yeah, right now on the bottom side, though, Piglet and Vulcan have been doing a good job of getting the Ws onto the turret and then getting the auto attacks off and trying to get some poke down. But TSM have been fine with just playing to that top part of the map, knowing that Huni is somebody who he's going to give up some kills because he plays aggressive. They're able to punish him here.
Pressure on bot. Doesn't look like they're trailing anybody else down here with Lira to make this work. Oh, Damonte. It's going to be tough inside the Shroud for that. Gets himself out of Infernal Chain. So they actually know he had to leave that. I like that pressure that Infernal Chains creates on Akail and Shroud.
Yeah, as long as you hit him in it.
Yeah. You're like, oh, he's still there. Now he's definitely not going anywhere else once he gets out of it.
And sometimes you pull her right to the center, and then she's visible again.
Perfect. Love the counterplay.
He roams for like 2 seconds, makes sure that Damonte has to back up and take some damage, and then he goes back to the top lane to catch the wave. So Damonte has to back off that, gets the Gunblade, and has the lasting one too. Now Broken Blade, it's kind of just a game of backs here where nobody wants to be on the map long enough to get killed. It's like, shove the wave, back up. Shove the wave, back up.
It does not look like it's going to be Smoothie going back to bot lane either. They feel like that's going to drop soon, so he'll start roaming on the map, and the hooks could start coming through. Vulcan will have to keep his, I say eyes open, but his mouth open to make this really start working for Clutch, because I feel like TSM, once he said they break those lanes and get to the team fight phase, it comes really hard if you are behind in the game. Damonte 168 to 149 against Bjergsen in the mid. So not faring too poorly, as we said before. He can still make those impact plays on the back line. If he finds Zven, he finds a squish.
And this map seems to be pretty in favor of TSM at the moment, especially off the pressure that Broken Blade can cause. And also, Akaadian, he knows that the team is lacking magic damage. Oblivion Orb, Sork Shoes, Runic Echoes is the almost full AP Gragas here. So far, the build is solely AP. I wonder how deep he'll go into it, though, for the later parts of the game.
What would be your next?
Oh, man, I would probably...
Did you just even finish Zanya's?
Finish Morello. No, because Zanya's actually good, too.
Yeah.
And Gragas gets tankiness from the W now in the AP ratio on it, so it is still semi-tanky. Nice dodge from Lira.
Looking for those hooks left and right. The wards coming out to make those a little bit more advantageous, and Lira getting some Sonic Wave vision as well to see what they're dealing with. Rage Blade finished up for Zven here as Zerk Grief, so if they can stay in that elongated fight, they'll start putting out some good damage. Oh, hit him!
Interrupt.
Hit him! Oh, the interrupt on Abyssal Voyage. Vulcan not in a good spot right now as he tries to get down to the bot side. Flashes over the wall. Where's the follow? As Fear Beyond Death just misses. A nice Zanya's there, but get him with the cast. Akaadian drinks him right under the table. Lira now trying to get into the mix, but he doesn't want too much of that, seeing his support go down so fast.
Yeah, Vulcan was just using the Abyssal Voyage there, not even like in the brush or anything like that, just in full vision where they're able to just walk around the corner, and then he's stuck in that. So it's a good capitalization there from TSM, but they're only able to do that because they have that much vision in the jungle, because they've had that much position in that jungle. But this is the bottom side of the map. This is nowhere even close to where Broken Blade has been, and it's just been spilling over to other lanes now, where Clutch are completely on the back foot in this game. This Cloud Drake is going to be completely seated. Nobody's even going to look at it from their side.
Huni being able to farm a little bit, but still very much behind in the sense of Broken Blade's lead. Black Cleaver Youmuu's, as you were mentioning, means he will shred just about anybody on the Rift right now. I'm trying to see his level difference. He's just 1 right now to the solo laners, but 2 to Piglet means Piglet would be zeroed out, and now he has to charge up his Ezreal. He's not going to be blasting out tons of damage right away unless he's really hitting those skills, and it makes, with Essence Flux, it's kind of conditional damage. You have to hit.
And that wave is actually not going to make it all the way to the turret on top side. Broken Blade is going to clear it out right there. And that's a scary wave for Huni to actually push. You can see kind of just how scared he is of going to the midway point of the lane or even further, because he doesn't have vision. And also Broken Blade is just going to be able to 1v1 him.
His little cancels and everything, it's great.
But yeah, Huni seems to be very scared of going to the top side right now, for good reason. And sees that the blue is being done, and backs right up.
Smart play.
Yeah, now they have a lead, so TSM is going to play a little bit slower here unless they find those opportunities. It feels like they're going to play to not give anything up or have any mistakes happen, because Clutch is that high variance team that people have been talking about, where if something goes wrong, they can make it go right very quickly if everybody's on the same page. Somebody's out of position, they can get a pick, then they can force another pick, and they can keep doing stuff like that.
Pressure towards mid. Smoothie looking for a possible hook. Once the minions bunch up, that disappears.
Well, as soon as it's
to
down.
Yep. Not going to want it just yet. You can see the vision in favor of Clutch here. That was a very blind Akaadian and Smoothie that could have been coming into play. Lira just on the other side of the wall, and they'll get vision of that right now. Vulcan, he's like, I got hit here last time. I need to start putting out a few more wards. It's becoming hard, though, because TSM is clearing them almost immediately. Every time they get into the jungle, 4-man towards the bot side turret, as mid is being pushed by Broken Blade as they have aggression on all fronts. Huni's going to try to repair that top side still as much as he can.
Yeah, Broken Blade shoved in the top wave, then went to mid to shove that in and get some damage on the turret as they put 4 people on the bottom side. So numbers advantage on the bottom side of a 4v3. And then Broken Blade, oh wait, ulti.
All right. She's going to go.
Yeah, didn't realize that he had to use the ulti before that. Oh, that was good from Vulcan. Vulcan actually swallows up Piglet there.
Yeah.
Makes so the Urgot doesn't get the ulti, but that's another turret going to TSM, just slow and controlled off the macro play where Huni's stuck top lane having to farm.
Now they can back up. The pressure towards mid lane will stop Damonte from getting too far, and that's one of the things you see from TSM is, yeah, they lost the pressure on mid lane, but they didn't lose too much pressure on mid. They were already done with bot and they're heading top. These things are already set in motion. Damonte trying for an escape as he gets the blast cone out, and back to farming.
Back to farming, not a beat miss.
Yeah, he's just like, oh, okay, bye.
Yeah, I didn't want you anyway.
Nice disdain to safety so he doesn't get caught up in the gravity field. Huni he's going to be really reaching for some of these kills now. Hopefully the team and everybody can back up each other as they go in for these fights, because being behind is going to be difficult.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult, but once again, this team composition on the side of TSM is mostly going to be that physical damage, but they do have 2 black cleavers, and they also have another shred for the magic resistance for Akaadian. So he's going to be actually still full AP. They go for the Morellonomicon, which can be good against the Akail. She does have a decent amount of healing from the Gunblade as well as the passive with the Q. So, yeah, I actually like that pickup there for him.
What is it, 15% and 5 AoE for Gunblade?
For Gunblade?
Yeah. Way to bring it up when I don't know.
Yeah.
I think it is.
Yeah, 15.
Nice.
15-5.
2K gold lead here for TSM.
Yeah, which is not...
That mirror mana for Piglet, so it might be able to start.
It's not an insurmountable amount, right? And Piglet's going to get tanky with the Iceborne Gauntlet. The fact that he'll have some life steal on top of it. Potentially, he'll even go for armor boots into Hobby at that point. Stole the Raptors.
Waka, waka, waka.
Nice pickup. One of the interactions that isn't used enough, the Q plus the W to pull something towards you.
Good pressure on the outside. Akaadian and Smoothie looking for a possible flank. Akaadian doing great as well. And we kind of talked about him having those seasons where he always wants to come out, be kind of a star player, be a very good player. It helps his mentality. And this is just has to be having him riding so high with these starts on TSM so far. 3-0 this game as well. And he can be on something that can also aggress and start those fights.
Yeah, all things considered, it feels as though the game has slowed down after that. And there's, as soon as he walked up to that bush, Huni, like I said, he was scared to go up there. As soon as he starts getting brave again, disaster strikes. But like we were talking about, this game though, felt like it slowed down a lot. TSM are picking up whatever they can with very little risk. And they're still at that 2,000 gold lead, 2.6K right now with the Infernal Drake. And the worry here for TSM is Damonte, actually. They banned out some of his champions, but now he's got 260 CS at 22.5 minutes. He's CSing incredibly well on this bursty champion in later parts in the game. So you have to watch out for something like him going for Zven or him going for Akaadian. And if Damonte starts becoming a playmaker here and stepping up to the table, that's what TSM have to worry about. Because this gold lead, it's not a massive amount, right? It was at the start of the game in terms of percentage of how much gold they have over their opponent. But now, as you get more ambient gold, 2,000 doesn't mean as much when people have 38,000.
Yep. Smoothie's work will be cut out for him, especially if you kind of get into that false sense of security where TSM feels good. They can take a fight. Akaadian and Broken Blade dive in, and Zven is actually a little too far away from everybody, right? Smoothie's not there because he boxed or something. So I like where your head's at, and definitely keeping eyes on Damonte as these fights start to come about. Coming up on that 25-minute mark, just a minute away. 5-0
TSM
still. Smoothie looking for a possible hook over the shoulder here. Broken Blade with a double knock up onto Lira and onto Vulcan as Piglet gets himself to safety. I thought he was going to be roped in on that too. Bjergsen looking for a possible flank, but he doesn't like his positioning, so they back up. And the wave clear is still going to be there to keep himself safe in the mid lane. Huni's going to take that for now and start picking up some more CS. He definitely needs to get back in this game.
Yeah, it looks like a 1-3-1 has been kind of the name of the game here. Damonte is now the person who gets split push in the side lane. Huni will get whatever he can, kind of scraps every now and then, or be the primary wave clear. Damonte's the one who's got kind of the most threat in the side lane.
Information to TSM that they have full vision coverage right there behind red, so they might be able to bait in. Looks like they just want to cover on mid here. Too many members, they can't see if Clutch Gaming can make that work. Broken Blade pushes down towards the bot side, gets himself a bit of vision as Bjergsen now starts to take towards top.
Broken Blade. He's got to watch it.
To create pressure for Zven to get auto attacks on the turret there, but they actually cost him quite a bit. Here's Damonte getting to that back line. Akaadian also could be one of those members. It's a bit squishy, tries to take it in. The flame back. Akaadian's alive, but he gets taken down by Damonte in the end. And that's the shutdown you can see on the emblem. They're going to start moving towards mid, and that's what they were waiting for. That's what you were talking about, Zirene.
Damonte is the one that they have to be scared of because that Akail has been CSing really well. He's at a free lane. And then he's able to just pick off squishies. Akaadian, not built tanky at all, and he's not going to be getting there anytime soon. And Zven, same story for them. They're going to need some more Zonias. They're going to need some more ability to deal with Damonte on this Akail because it can be an absolute menace. And I believe he has a lot of gold he has to spend. He has 2,000 gold to spend. Let's see this here. Uses the first R to get in. Gets him with the...
quick 5-point.
Yeah, 5-point.
Hits him with the E, and then he's in.
Takes it, even though the body slam and the play both come through. Damonte even saves his flash there. If he had flash R'd, it would have been the quick kill, but says I'm just going to R and get the final little touch there to take that kill home. And now he's got himself the component for the Zonias, the stopwatch, and has those 2 AP items to move to. Like this guy, you have to watch him very closely in this game because He got player of the game yesterday for his Galio performance, and now he's just even the odds against TSM on this Akail, and he can bring it home, but TSM, they have the tools to deal with it. I just have to watch that execution.
Yep.
Damonte is somebody who, we knew him for like the Cassiopeia last year. We knew him in Academy for those types of picks.
Really
but the Akail is something that's been growing.
To see if he can have that eye, that inclination for when exactly to initiate True Shot Barrage for a quick check on Baron objective. And again, Broken Blade slowly rotating up, always coming through this channel here underneath Clutch Gaming's turret.
Yeah, he
Not
just
causing too much trouble.
He's keeping Huni busy, and Huni did go for pretty much the full AP build as the Lichbane instead of the Iceborne Gauntlet. And Damonte, that might have been one hit too many.
Ooh. So like we can go for Damonte, but you saw the hook for Vulcan. If they can get Vulcan out, that means Damonte doesn't have triple the survivability with Shroud flashing out, getting devoured.
This is a vision choke right here. They have to check.
There's one, devoured up. That's going to be a very safe Piglet, but now they are able to finally take down Vulcan. That's the safety that Clutch Gaming needs in this fight. Lira's almost taken out immediately with the Void Seeker, and it's going to be one more shot. The Purge misses, and so does the Corrosive Charge from Bjergsen. They're reaching a bit for these kills, but it looks like it could be okay. Clutch Gaming starts to bite down a little harder, and that's going to be Bjergsen falling. Damonte picking up the kills, and nobody falls into the gravity field. Whoa, Huni flashes forward, and they follow with Piglet's damage as well. Smoothie now could be the last one in line to get taken down. Here's Akaadian trying to skirt away.
That's an ace!
That's where he connects. That's the ace as Piglet finalizes the double kill.
TSM have a fight start from Fog of War with a hook onto Piglet, and Clutch Gaming, everyone does exactly what they need to. Vulcan with the save, Damonte with the pickoff on the Zven, punishing the backline dive, and that's going to be Baron here, but hold on. Yeah, that's Vulcan just coming in, making sure he's present. And if they wait for Lira, which they will, it's going to be 5 men with the Baron here.
Ooh, that was without the savior of Piglet, which is huge. They lost Vulcan immediately and were still able to pull that fight into their favor. Clutch dancing on coals right now, but they were able to make it to safety and now have Baron 28 minutes in after being in the back foot the whole game.
The idea from TSM is right with the vision choke out here. But watch this. The hook
is the save.
Swallowed up, and then Vulcan eats a lot there, and then Lira gets hit away. That's a great little gravity well there.
Oh,
from
the Zanyas though.
Yeah. The Zanyas to buy time, the gravity well, and then you had Zven go too far. Damonte gets the pick off with the second part of the R, and then they're able to just train them down here with their mobility. That's the Iceborne Gauntlet with the slow, and then the follow-up in the burst.
Kind of seems like a bit of false sense of security where they felt they were ahead and then got bit in the butt when they went in.
Yeah, I feel like this team composition from Clutch Gaming has so much later part of the fight trail-off damage. The Akail has mobility on basic abilities. The Viktor has a way to speed himself up, and then you also have Piglet, who's able to just train people down too with slows as well as movements.
It's true. You have the cooldowns to keep it going. On the other side, you're waiting for Body Slam, Cast, String, Body Slam, Darkened Blade from Broken Blade to try and get in there. Those are interesting to say together.
Yeah.
As we come up on 30 minutes, it does seem like, as you said, the prolonged fights, we're going to start going in favor of Clutch.
Yeah, and you can see Damonte didn't end up going for the Zonias first. He still has that stopwatch. Ooh. So he says, I'm going to take a little bit of a break. Detour. Boom. Void Staff for him. And he's about to get the 30 CS up over Bjergsen. And he's constantly CSing in this game as the Akail. He's side laning right now. The team is shoving in the mid, and they're trying to make use of this. It's for the 1-3-1, even though Huni doesn't have teleport.
So cool. So we got Gunblades finished up. Black Cleavers, Lichbanes, quite a bit on the side of Clutch Gaming now as they could spend a bit of that money in their coffers after being down so much. At one point it was 5-0 for quite a bit of the game as TSM quite stalled out nicely. Now it's a 4,000 gold lead in favor of Clutch.
And Clutch, if you told me that they were going to lean on Damonte and not the 2 people on their team that have world championships,
fancy feat.
I wouldn't believe it.
I wouldn't believe it either. They just take down the mid inhibitor turret and now have Ezreal with that damage. And Huni on top of that, looking to take it down. Super minions now spawning in the mid lane as TSM, the flash engage from Akaadian, tries to get the cast down as he throws his stopwatch on for the Chaos Storm, but he's still going to fall as it rains on TSM's parade. 7-7. But Clutch Gaming has done so much more in their 7 kills than TSM did in the early game. Bottom inhibitor now falling, and Clutch looking strong.
Clutch Gaming held on. Huni was 0-3-0, and Lira was put down by that gank on top side. He lost all his pressure. Everybody else, they just decided to hang on. We saw Piglet shoving the bottom lane and pressuring that first tier 1 down as much as he could. And then Damonte just CSing, silently biding his time before he could blow this game wide open. And this has honestly been just a crazy game from that perspective where TSM hit a brick wall. They weren't making any progress. A lot of that comes down to composition too, because Clutch Gaming, when you have a Viktor that's able to get to that point where he's able to affect team fights, he just becomes a massive DPS monster. He didn't go for the tanky build, he went for the one that's gonna do a ton of damage and set up Damonte. It's a very squishy composition, but Vulcan's supposed to supplement that and kind of make sure that he's the one taking the early parts of that fight, making sure that he's taking that damage.
3-0-2 and 3-0-4 for Damonte and Piglet.
And they're looking for another fight here, but this is going to get turned. They don't have Zven. Zven's going to have to TP into this.
It was Huni and Lira yesterday that were really putting up a lot of the power with Damonte on those beautiful engages. Now we're seeing a little bit towards the bot side of the map carry for Clutch.
Is Damonte going to make a play?
He's roaming out towards the right, yeah. He kind of wanted Zven at first, but they figure spreading them thin is what's going to get them a better fight. Broken Blade.
Oh, Akaadian's almost dead!
Akaadian, one last shot. 2 shots going to miss as he comes up with the Zanyas now coming in. Broken Blade is low. He's going to throw down the World Ender, and he's coming back up as Akaadian. Now Smoothie falls. The double kill coming in for Damonte as he's looking for a few more. The triple kill for Damonte. Looking good as he dives back in. The quadrant's going to go to Huni, so it splits it up, but they're looking for the full house that they can get back on Bjergsen's kill. Bot lane has taken quite a bit of damage as the Abyssal Voyage brings Clutch Gaming in for what could be the win. Clutch Gaming kick it into high gear, and with a 5-0 start in this game from TSM, TSM is shut down and put back on their fountain, and Clutch Gaming will take the victory.
And Damonte and Piglet are at the helm. When you think of Clutch, you think of those top lane plays, the Huni, the Lira now. Damonte and Piglet coming up huge in this match. And Vulcan with the protection. I feel like that bottom half of the map, able to not let anything go over to TSM when they were losing the top part, was exactly what they needed in this game. And TSM, that was one where they just tried to sit down on their investments.
Yep.
They said, we have all this topside pressure. No swapping of the lanes early, none of that. And then they didn't end up pushing for the mid turret. A little bit of that is composition, but at the same time, you have to look at those early game plays and say TSM, they were popping off. But it's that mid game where they weren't all able to kind of figure out how they were going to pressure that vision, how they were going to push forward. And that's a game where, VOD review, there's going to be a ton coming out of that.
You can see shoulder pats onto Piglet having a very good game there. And the rest of the team feeling great for Clutch. I think for fans, seeing Clutch with the ability to have that mentality, to the ability to say, hey, we don't have to carry from one side of the map, the world isn't ending yet, we can make this happen, is huge. And I think fans can really look towards that as a Clutch Gaming get their first victory in the